Hi everyone, we meet again in Get Out of the Box, and today we're going to speak about something really interesting for us here in Sri Lanka. Is about learning business. Is it better to stay here in Sri Lanka or it's better to going overseas? Now, learning business is something that really exciting actually. You know, you're going to be excited because actually you're learning of what happened each and every day. It means that you learn what you see every day also. It means when you go out of your house, you can really see a lot of people are already doing things, and then when you're about to go, you need a transportation, and then when you get into that transportation, it means you're in you're using services that other people are doing business with. So it's very exciting, and then to see how you work normally in a business. And to see everything around you, it's all a business actually. It's exciting because you see what happens each and every day. That's actually what interesting about business. So Rihan, how is your experience? Because you learn business here in Sri Lanka.
I can put it in like this way. When it comes to business, like as you said, we can put it in product, service and everything. If you take any industry in the world, like there's everything come into a connecting point, so that is we call business. If you take a service, it's somewhere connected to the business, right? So and whatever, like business, if you compare with overseas education and the Sri Lankan education, it's not that going to be much difference. Now in Sri Lanka, as you can see, like after 30-year war and everything, like now our economy is developing, and there are a lot of universities coming into Sri Lanka, and like even the foreign students, most of the foreign students also, they used to come to Sri Lanka for pursue their study their higher studies. So that's no much different in Sri Lanka, and because we have quality lecturers in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
So Sri Lanka is one of, when you compare with all like in Asian region, like Sri Lanka is one of well educated people living country. So we can, it's something that very advantage for the students that they can study from the seniors.
Okay, can you tell me your experience when you're getting your bachelor degree here?
When I take the compare with my bachelor degree, like most of the lecture we had like local and the foreign lecturers. So from local lecture, like it's not all about the qualification. From local lecturers, that they were having the knowledge, the real what is happening inside the Sri Lanka. So they were well aware on the knowledge. So when they are doing the lectures, they are coming up with real world, like what's already happening in Sri Lanka. So already they come up with the same example, like they take any industries that, so they come up with a real world example. So that, and the foreign lecturers, so like we can learn something about the global market and what's happening out of the country. So that is also so important.
Pretty much agree with you, because actually when you you're living in Sri Lanka, and if you learn business in Sri Lanka, you're going to a business school in Sri Lanka. One of the advantages is that most of the case studies that you're going to do is about Sri Lanka. Yes, you can learn about something overseas, what happened in US, in Europe, in other part of Asia, in China. But it means to know the case, to know the daily challenge that you are going to face. It is good for you to learn business here in Sri Lanka, because all the case study that you focus in Sri Lanka, it's also a good thing, because I think almost anywhere in the world, when you learn business, guys, anywhere in the world, pretty much you will learn the same theory. Those kind of things, it means that it's all the same around the world, but the implementation is very different for each and every country based on their economy. But we saw now so many overseas campus, foreign university, open a branch here. So what is the impact for Sri Lanka education, do you think? And then how their business graduates impacting the Sri Lankan economy?
Even like I did from a overseas university degree in Sri Lanka. So therefore, so the lecturers are local ones. So when it comes to case study and the examples, so they always take the local case studies. So in that case, like it's good, and local universities, as you said, when they come in to the country, so there are like now, or there are government universities, but like there are some barriers for all the students cannot enter to the government university. So students after A levels, quota allocated for the students, right? So that students, they can enter to the government university. So what will happen to the balance left over? So they also need to be educated, right? So it's a chance for all the other students also to like get the degree. So
what do you think about the graduates itself? It means, is there any differences between the one who graduate from local university, it means university in Sri Lanka, or business college or business school in Sri Lanka, with someone who graduate from overseas, especially UK and US?
We have to respect both the institutes. So there's no like the standard wise. I don't think that private universities, they compromise the standard. So both are like good when it's come to, but this is something like they are opening the door for like other students, like because we don't want anyone to left over. So everyone, it's like then only like we can move forward as a country. So everyone need to be educated. So this is just it's a good chance for the other students also. Even like in some universities, like students, like those days the students, they have to have the A levels to get into the university, but now students, there are so many options. Even like students after O levels, they can start a foundation, or if they can go into the degree, and they can study up to like master's, PhD. So there's a way like path for them to like pursue that.
So are you trying to say that it depends on the person, and it depends on the effort that they did while they are studying something, while they are learning something?
Yeah, exactly. Like if suppose, let's say that if there's no private education institutes in Sri Lanka, like only like students who they like, only few students, they get the chance to study in local universities. So what will happen to the balance? So we have to think about those students also. Sometimes the students can be like not much good in when it's come to academic, but they have good skills. So paper qualification and the skills both has to merge together, so to put a good graduate from that university.
Okay, let's say now we're talking about students who graduate from overseas campus in Sri Lanka. It means that they open their branch here. What do you think about their quality? Are they really giving an impact to the Sri Lankan economy, or?
Yes, of course they do, because like like they also graduate from a well recognized university. They have to like, when a student choosing a university, they have to like, there are a few factors: the recognition and the number of the graduates they produce, and the lecturers and the credit. So there are some factors, right? So they have to look into the factors. So if it comes from a good university, so it doesn't matter if it's like local or foreign university, if the curriculum is strong, so then they can, without any fear, they can start their studies.
Okay, so now what do you think, place wise, environment wise, are we in Sri Lanka already have a good atmosphere to support especially students who learn business
Yeah, because now we have like, if you take like the students who are getting graduate in, most of the students now getting like come up here like getting graduate in business studies. Like even if you take like private educations, like so many, if you like, when it's come to numbers, most of the students are like business studies. So even like, let's say like, even that is, as I said before, like business is something connected. Even like most of them, they like to do a MBA program. Why? Because they want to gain a knowledge about the business.
So we agree that it doesn't matter where you go. It means if you can afford going overseas, there's a plus point for that. It means that yes, you're going overseas, you become more independent, in your life. You learn how to live by yourself. Definitely it's different. You have to learn how to stand by yourself. Okay, there's a plus point for that. Going overseas is awesome opportunity, right? There's a lot of a good university out there, but for some people who really wants to stay here in Sri Lanka, they want to learn business here in Sri Lanka. We also have a lot of very nice business college, means the university that you can go. But as long as you're really doing your effort, you're really study hard enough, and it's about opening your perspective. So it means that when you learn business, the most important thing is how you implement all the theoretical. Because like I told you, everywhere in the world, basically they're the same, but how you implement it, how they train you, how they give you some case study, and then how they ask you to solve a problem, the critical thinking, are they going to teach that or not? Means, because we also found so many business schools around the world, they just teach about the theory and then they give you some essay and they want you to think about it, and that's it. But when it comes to business, you need a theory, yes. Second thing, you need to learn how to observe business in the real world. So if you don't do that, means if a business school doesn't offer that, it's pointless. I don't say it's useless. No, nothing is useless, but it's pointless because we always try to prepare students to be the best in their field. So Rihan, if you have a chance, would you go overseas to learn business?
Yeah.
And why? And why?
Yeah, like maybe like anyone will like to experience a new culture, right? So anyone will like to go to abroad, like if there's a chance to go abroad, like any students will choose, but there are like factors like sometimes it can cost a lot also.
Yes.
So every students, like the students, they want to study, but if they can afford in Sri Lanka for the same degree with a foreign reputation, and if they can get that degree in Sri Lanka, so why we have to miss that chance also? Because it's like if the students going abroad, so it will take some time for him to her to like get adapt to their culture itself. So they have to study about that country. So and they have to put it to their career study. So it will take some time. So it can be some students who studied in like other languages. So it can be like a small delay for them to catch up some things. So therefore, like if they can do it in Sri Lanka, so there are plus and the minus. So always like it depends on the student to student.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you study. The most important thing is about the experience. Okay, the experience, it means if you only can study in Sri Lanka because some limitation, it means that study here. There's a lot of good college like us, like Raffles. We're doing a business program and we teach you about especially critical thinking, because it's very important, and then we teach you all the business theoretical, and you will have a strong foundation of a business theory, and you will have that ability to implement it in a critical thinking way, create a breakthrough in business. So it's very interesting, actually. It's very interesting. So it doesn't matter where you learn, here in Sri Lanka or overseas. It depends on you. It depends on how you do it. So until next time, Rihan, until next time, stay tuned. Keep remember that it's all about you and what are you doing.